Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
For some restaurants struggling through the pandemic, the problem isn't finding customers, it's finding staff.
Shoppers at a local supermarket ordered to give up their phones by a teen holding this gun. One of those customers wasn't having it.
A family in shock, fearing for their safety because of who showed up and broke down their door in the middle of the night. Topping our news at 6, a terrifying attack on a family in Walled Lake.
Home surveillance video shows the panic inside the house when police say 3 people started breaking down the door and shouting threats.
The family telling police racial slurs were used. Priya Mann spoke with the husband and father of the house. Priya, he was at work away from home, but he heard some of this unfolding.
Yeah, that's because his wife called him as these people were trying to break in. Now, she kept shooting her gun, trying to prevent them from getting inside. Walled Lake police say they got several phone calls of shots fired, including from the kids who were inside that home. A 13-year-old wakes up disoriented, hears commotion outside, and quickly wakes up his 9-year-old brother. Moments later, their mom is in their bedroom, armed with a gun. As people try getting into the house, the mom starts shooting through the bedroom window. She's also on the phone with her husband, who works overnight in Detroit.
And I can hear everything on the phone. I can hear them banging, kicking in the door or banging it down, whatever they were doing.
2 men and a woman with dogs, one armed with a knife, the other with a club, break down the door and get inside.
It's not going in there for you.
I hear the first shot, and that's when she said they were in the house. I hear the bangs and all that. Then I hear the guys saying, I'm gonna kill you, the N-word and all that.
He immediately left work.
I dropped everything I was doing, jumped in my car. I hit the highway.
By the time he got there, police had 3 white people in custody.
It was a hate crime.
The Walled Lake family believes the attack was racially motivated.
They knew that we were a black family. I'm always on my motorcycle.
He says he's proud his wife knows how to shoot a gun and did everything she could to protect their family.
My wife did what she had to do, You got kids, you're gonna do what you have to do.
Now, the father says he's seen these people in his neighborhood before, even recognized the dogs. Tonight, 2 men and a woman are in police custody. Walled Lake police not commenting on a motive, but expect charges to come tomorrow. Reporting live in Walled Lake, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
Clearly much more to come on this story. Priya, we appreciate it.
Let's move now to the coronavirus as Michigan continues to see a drop in cases. The state reporting 6,524 new cases and 35 more deaths, that over these past 2 days. Starting today, children as young as 2 must wear masks in public, including inside daycares and preschools. On the vaccine front, Meijer is now offering walk-in vaccines at all of its stores, also offering vaccine appointments if you'd rather do it that way. There is now an even easier way to get help from Local 4's resident vaccine hunter, our Ken Haddad. Simply text the word vaccine to this number, 877-454-9348, 877-454-9348, and Ken will do his level best to help you find an appointment in Michigan. If you're an internet user, be sure to check Ken's live blog at clickondetroit.com. He is continuously posting about clinics and appointments as they pop up.
Well, the climb toward tomorrow's possible 80-degree temperatures has begun.
Made it into the 50s so far. Ben's here with our first look at the forecast. Ben, big change coming.
Huge, yeah, and we're not going to ease into it. We're going to flip that light switch tomorrow. Guys, the numbers out there below average tonight in the low and mid 50s. Taylor, one of the warm spots at 56. There's even some 40s right now. Lambertville, Monroe, Dundee, all at 49. 50s in the west zone. As warm as 55 in Howell, but check out some of these numbers in the north zone. We were staring at 30s for most of the afternoon up there in Sanilac County. Deckerville now at 42, Sandusky's at 43, and then you get south of 69, and that's where we start picking up some 50s again. But look at this high tomorrow, 82 degrees. That'll be 2 degrees away from the record if we get there, more almost 20 degrees above average. And then it's a slow fall beyond that. We'll still see numbers above average at least through Thursday. That is our coldest day of the week, but we got to talk about rain and thunderstorms. They're going to be coming with these warm temperatures, and we'll run that down for you in a few minutes. Local Forecasters app has everything you need to know about the next 10 days. Get it for free in your app store by searching WDIV. Guys?
Ben. Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan's primary ballot eligibility is challenged by a political opponent. An attorney for Kwame Kilpatrick-era Deputy Mayor Anthony Adams filed the challenge this afternoon. The challenge basically says Duggan should not appear on the ballot because he failed to update a fundraising disclosure back in 2018. Duggan's campaign manager denied Adams's claims and called his challenge, quote, an attempt to not to have to face Mayor Duggan. It will be up to Detroit Clerk Janice Winfrey and the Detroit Election Commission to determine where this challenge goes from here.
Michigan is going to lose a seat in the U.S. House of Representatives. No surprise, but now it's coming in firmer. Data from the 2020 census showing that Michigan's population grew by 2% over the last decade, not enough to keep the state from losing one congressional seat. As of April 1st, 2020, state population of Michigan at more than 10,077,000, up from the 2010 count, which was 9,883,000. U.S. population overall, by the way, growth slowed last decade to its second lowest rate in the nation's history.
The pandemic has dealt a painful punch to the service economy, and even with fewer restrictions, some businesses are finding it tough to get back up and running. There are help wanted signs up everywhere and not enough employees to fill the jobs. Local 4 Business editor Rod Maloney is live tonight at a local restaurant where they're hoping they can get more help to open up fully. Rod.
Yeah, you know, Kimberly, here's the thing. It's pizza night. You would guess that by looking at the Alibi restaurant here in Troy, right behind me. They've had a line all afternoon long, but this is their takeout business. They want to open up inside. They say they can't, and there's a reason for that. They don't have enough help, and what's more, the help they have is getting burned out. So they're saying if you want a job, well, you can probably get one here. The Alibi restaurant kitchen opened at 3 o'clock this afternoon. They used to do a gangbuster lunch business before COVID. Now it's takeout only with reduced hours all week. Cindy Myers, the owner, she tried to open indoor dining a couple of weeks ago and
my kitchen just crashed. I only had one line cook. I had pizza cook who was trained helping out a line cook. And he had 80 saute items to cook at one time.
She knows other businesses are offering all kinds of incentives, signing bonuses, and even help with college educations to get just about anyone to come into work for them, and that she is considering.
We would love to sit down, interview. We will work with them with schedules. It can be part-time, it can be full-time. I'm a grandma, it can be grandmas, it can be any type of position from anything over 17 years old.
The Michigan Chamber of Commerce's Wendy Bach warns business owners, not just restaurateurs, to expect a long and difficult summer because
there's kind of some perverse incentives going on with the federal unemployment benefits that seem to be keeping people on the unemployment rolls and out of the workforce. And so, you know, competition with these enhanced unemployment benefits that is compounding this problem.
They don't even come in to ask how much I'm paying per hour, which we pay extremely well.
Now, the unemployment rate's at about 5.1%, so there's plenty of room for people to go to work. The chamber is saying that they want to see the state end the not having to look for work requirement as part of unemployment. We'll see how that goes. In the meantime, here at Alibi, they're saying they're hanging on by a thread because you can't make money at what they're doing right now with just the outdoor takeout. Reporting live in Troy, Rod Maloney, back to you.
Like many other establishments around. Okay, Rod, we appreciate it.
Police arrest a Washtenaw County teenager accused of robbing shoppers with an airsoft gun. Police arrested a 14-year-old boy. This happened inside the Pittsfield Township Meijer Friday and Saturday. Teenagers accused of telling shoppers to hand over their phones and showing them this gun. Police arrested the teen when one shopper refused to hand over their phone and called 911 instead.
When it came time to choose a prosecutor in the Derek Chauvin case, the governor of Minnesota decided not to go with someone at the county level, but to hand the case to the state's attorney general, Keith Ellison.
Native Detroiter led a team of 14 attorneys in trying to prove George Floyd's death was an act of murder. Well, now Ellison is speaking openly about the verdict and what he hopes comes next. Victor Williams has a closer look at why Ellison took nothing in this trial for granted.
Well, it's no secret that Detroit has produced some of the greatest leaders all across the country, and now the city can add the Minnesota Attorney General to that list, who's making a big impact in the Derek Chauvin trial surrounding the death of George Floyd.
I would say this is not a case of explicit KKK-style racism. It's more of an institutional problem that means that people of color get worse outcomes in general.
Minnesota Attorney General and Detroit native Keith Ellison speaking on the Today Show about his role in the trial of Derek Chauvin as the lead prosecutor. In the interview, Ellison admits he was skeptical that Chauvin would be convicted, even though the video of George Floyd's death was clear as day.
Well, if you look at the history, there's ample reason to doubt. I mean, look at the Rodney King case. Didn't that video shock the world? Weren't we all convinced based on those 57 blows to that man? So we actually approached the cases if we didn't have the video. And then when we put the video in, it was kind of like icing on the cake.
As for Chauvin's sentencing, Ellison is hoping for something fair.
It should not be a vindictive sentence. It should not be a sentence designed to advance a political cause. It should be a sentence that reflects the severity of harm inflicted upon George Floyd and the people who loved him and his family, who are the surviving victims.
And Derek Chauvin's sentencing will happen in June, while the other ex-cops that were involved in George Floyd's death will be going to trial come August. Victor Williams, Local 4.
Thank you, Victor. The pandemic has put more stress than ever on healthcare workers. Ahead, we'll show you what Michigan Medicine now has on site to help its staff cope.
Yeah, let's check in with Hank.
More stimulus money could be coming to you, but what about those of you still waiting for that last check? I'm going to show you what you need to do right now to make sure you get the money. It's coming up new tonight.